Hello, good evening, and a very warm welcome to Rangers Radio.
Hello, good evening, welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Foxy, on the show this evening is the one and only GB, and we should be joined by Mr. Bridge, but for the regular listeners, you'll find it hard to believe he's having some technical difficulties. Evening, GB.
Just tell me to come off mute, Ox. He'll be there now. Evening, Ox. Thanks for having us on tonight, mate. I hope you're well. It's been a while, mate.
I'm good, mate. I'm good. I'm good personally. My football team have been better, and that causes me a lot of pain.
Much the same, mate. Much the same. I'm apart from Rangers, I'm very festive, mate. That's the Christmas tree up, lights are on and everything, mate.
So it's not even St Andrew's Day yet.
You should see it, mate. It's like Santa's grotto in here.
Aye. Well, Shane, you know how to work the electricity meter, innit?
There'll be a chap at the door, I suppose.
Good on you, mate. Good on you. It's a special time when you've got young family, mate.
It is. Great age for them, the new mate. Like I says, every day I walk in, I'm getting asked when's he coming, when's Santa coming, and all this.
Is that Mrs. GB?
Aye. The answer to that would probably be never.
Once a year, just like Santa, innit?
Just like Santa Claus, mate. Aye.
Anyway, we digress. Sorry about that, mate.
No, not at all.
Great, mate. Great that the wins are right. That's what it's all about. Listen, we're all excited, but maybe for the wrong reasons. I'll just sit back, mate, and say what you've got to say. You can talk about the game at the weekend. You can talk about what you feel. It's up to you, mate.
Mate, to be honest, I'm really no surprised it's went down this path. I think we spoke very early on with the pre-season and that, and Clement kind of promised us then that he was going to get them in the gym, and he talked about them being like fit enough and all the rest of it, Ox. But early days of the pre-season was alarm bells for me when he was passing about that captaincy. I think it was the Ajax game we spoke about. That he couldn't make a decision on the captaincy. It was 1 week it was like Goldson, and the following week it was somebody else. Now, granted, Tav was injured, or supposedly injured in that, but that, again, they periods of time, I was expecting more for Clement then. I thought he should have had a settled team, a team that was going to be ready to start first game of the season. And obviously, like he says, he had to wait for the budget to come in and to buy players and get players out and all the rest of it. But he's his own man. He's got his own coaching staff there, Ox, and he's got a responsibility to improve players as well. That includes our youth system. Not seeing why they progress through him, which he said he was an advocate for. I mean, especially with his previous clubs. And the way it's went on, Ox, we've had nice European nights, but the league has been dire. There's probably been the Ross County game has probably been the only enjoyable game. The rest of them have been a slog, and I think most of the fans are all at, Ox, and why they're calling for his head is we're seeing the players with the same attitude all again. We've seen this movie before. We see when they're going to start down in tools, and they boys don't look as though they're enjoying their work. Now, granted, that's on them, but I think, Ox, the manager's flogging a dead horse with them. I don't think they're interested in him. I think they've lost faith in him and all. And the coaching team, by the way, they've got a lot to answer for as well.
That all saying that you've lost the dressing room, is that the point you're making?
Mm-hmm. None of them look happy, Ox. None of them look as though they're enjoying themselves. The only one that I would say is probably Tierney, and that's because he's on a bit of form, and he's obviously came out of a slump. But the rest of them, like I says, they don't look a team, Ox. I seen a picture pop up of the 55 title winning team, and see when you seen the boys. I mean, you had. During that period with Gerrard, he was able to get the likes of Andy Halliday, Robbie McCrory, all that, like average players that were running through brick walls for him. I mean, as it stands now, I've not seen Clement do that yet with anybody. Now, Young Barnes came in, but Young Barnes came in with good form for Aberdeen. You know what I mean? Raskins came back in, but we knew Raskin was a good player as well. But see, when you look at the kind of ones that he did bring in, like Diamande, that boy came in and he was flying, and now he's absolutely murder. And then you look at Bajami as well, came in flying, but again, now this looks a shadow of the player. So there's a worry there, Rox, and it's not just come on. It is, like I says, it's a full coaching team. You got to wonder, we've brought in an assistant manager as well during the summer that was to help him. What's he been doing? And like I says, the assistant manager was already there. He was meant to be a midfielder as a player. I've not seen him improve any midfielders with their shots and goal and all the rest of that, Ox. I mean, our shooting from outside the box is terrible. So, like I says, we're hiring a manager to do a lot of things, and his coaching staff has got to help him. But for me, Ox, like I says, that the honeymoon period is well and truly over. The credit's gone.
We're only 7 years rich, mate.
Aye, like I says, I just don't. I heard the boys last night, and I totally get their point why they want to stick with it, because you're ripping it up again. And granted, we're going into the European tie there on Thursday that we could get through to the next round. But it's not down to like Clement needed more players, Rox. He's had a budget there that's been more than enough to deal with the likes of Kilmarnock and Dundee United and all that. And if you can't deal with them, Ox, then you're not used to us.
Aye, I get it, mate. I get it. Listen, mate, I said my piece last night. I've not really said what I think, would it be fair, because I try and be as neutral, but this movie usually only ends around the one way, the same as Fox's movies, you know?
Right. Oh, there's Bridget.
Aye.
I'm on the phone, pal. I can't get my Skype running at all, so apologies to everybody.
All right, so you watch your sound, because they're even more sensitive, mate.
Okay, buddy. I'll stay on for 10 minutes and I'll not bother you anymore because I'm just rubbish in it. It's just terrible.
Right, well, what we'll do is we'll hear for the bridge, GB, if that's all right with you, yeah? Let him get it off his chest and get a bit of therapy in.
Aye, bad, man.
Aye. On you go, Bridge. Give your thoughts on what's happening and what you think of the weekend's game.
Well, I watched the weekend's game and I thought it got worse and worse and worse and worse. A wee bit better in the second half, a wee bit better. By the way, there was 2 cracking goals scored in that game. You know, their goal was a good goal. Terrible defending by us, must admit, and our midfield as well. I don't think we've taken any steps forward, here, to be honest. In GB, I just don't see any improvement in reality in that team. I see that the 2 young lads, Raskin and Connor Barron, I see that they're still playing very, very well and holding a lot of things up. My big problem with them has always been is their finishing pass or a final pass. Sometimes they're trying 35-yard passes. You can't do that into an area where there's a 9-man defence. You just can't do it because you hardly ever get to the Rangers player, and we're proving that all the time. However, I do think we should have won the game at the weekend. I do, but my God, are we terrible? We're struggling along. I don't know whether the manager's losing it or whether the team in itself is losing it. There are certain members of that team who all said it in the past, I'm sure, and I'm sure I have as well. I don't understand why we don't have a centre forward. Even a centre forward out of the reserves is better than the man that's playing at the moment. It really and truly is really terrible. I don't know how Rangers are putting up with this. I don't know how the fans are reacting because I can't get in to speak to anyone. However, for me, our manager could have resigned on Sunday night rather. He could easily have done that, and I think everybody would have made a big, heavy sigh of relief. But he hasn't, and we've got a new chief executive officer, which I've been screaming for a while. So we will end up at least until Christmas time, probably, before anything's done. We get to the end of this session of it all. I don't know what we're going to be. We're lying with third. I think we're nearer the team below us and we're the team above us. and it will be fun in games. I don't know what to say in reality. It's about any positiveness about Rangers. Not one single word have I got positive. I think the Czerny guy is certainly starting to pull it out and scoring goals. It's great to watch, and really and truly, the fans love the way he moves with the ball, and he loves his wee dinks and so on. It was tremendous. But other than the Czerny boy, the goalkeeper, the rest is just kind of amateurish at times, just amateurish. We give terrible pass backs to their defenders. We're short with a lot of balls all the time. We've been saying this a lot. I've been saying the same thing, so I don't want to moan too much. I don't think we're going to go very much further. I think what somebody put on the forum, we as well just handing the championship over to Celtic now, because we ain't going to win as many games as we think we're going to win. That's all I've got to say about it, Oxford.
Well, there's a lot in there, GB. I think, and I don't know about why he's maybe saying this, a lot of the same stuff that you're saying, GB.
Bridge is, he's pointed out that we don't want to be in this situation with the manager, but I think Ox, his man management to players has been terrible, Ox. I think at the start when we seen him do what he done with Cantwell, we're like, all right, okay, he's got to show a bit of authority, but as the times went on, he's became a bit of a pattern merchant as well. Ox with the whole, he can only play so many minutes and he can only do this, and the next minute you're sitting watching Dessers and Tav play every minute under the sun, and then now he's doing what he's doing with Tav, and he's saying, Tav can't play as many games as he used, but yet at the start of the season Tav was playing every minute that was gone. It doesn't make sense to me. I know the reason why, probably behind the scenes, why he's doing it is because of Tav's form and all the rest of it. But again, when you look at Sterling, how he's been managing him, that boy's not looked happy. Whatever's happened in the summer, he's kind of touched on it, saying that he didn't come back fit for pre-season, and he was surprised at that. So he's obviously brought down the hammer on him on that. But there's Hadji. Hadji was basically told you're surplus to requirements, go and find a new club. And now the next minute he's sitting there going like, Hadji came on and improved the squad and I'm glad to have him. And yet he told him a couple of months ago that I don't want to get anywhere near the club. I mean, I don't get it. I know the Hadji situation, there was wages and all that involved, but at the end of the day, he could have still had him during that pre-season, Ox. He could have still had him round about the first team and then said to him, look, we'll sort it out, or if you're willing to sort it out, you're more than welcome to be a part of this first team. But he frozen him out. He left him in the B team. I mean,
is that?
And
sorry, mate. Carry on.
And just to finish off, Ox, just the whole Cantwell thing as well. He's not went down south and ripped up any trees, but again, we're not in a position to get rid of talent. I mean, when you look at through our squad, Cantwell was a player that we should have held on to. Granted, he didn't want to be here either, but he didn't want to be here because of the manager. And that's a worry, Hawks. See, when you've got players wanting to leave the club because of the manager, you can't have that.
Is this the impression you get, Bridge, that you're a man of experience, deep integrity and severe morality?
Yeah, it's...
is he a school teacher type? Does that make sense? And then once you hear it...
Exactly. Yeah.
Once you hear it once...
I just don't understand... The Bears are really and truly, there's going to be a petition or something going to go and say, help us, save our club for God's sake. That kind of thing is going to happen because it doesn't seem to be any better. Hey, we're at Ibrox and we're playing against a so-called Diddy team. And my goodness gracious, we didn't appear to be doing very well. We certainly couldn't penetrate them as much as we would like to have done. We got through a couple of times and we missed a couple of things. We made a star out of their goalkeeper. He had, 5 marvellous saves against us, maybe 6. But their centre halves were tremendous. They just headed the ball out everywhere, This is every game we play now, or just about every game we play, when there's a low block's on, then they're right back in there and they've got their end up 7, 8-man defence, maybe 9 times, And we're just trying to cross the ball in. We just don't seem to have any idea. We don't have great wingers that can come in and be tricky. We've got good players sometimes. Czerny when he turns it on, but we just don't. The rest of it's just not there. It's really. I don't know what to say without being really feeling uncomfortable talking about my team in a bad way. I just don't like it. But I don't think the club themselves need to do something about what's going on, because we and as a fan base probably wouldn't be too surprised if the club let him go, let our manager go. We wouldn't be too surprised if the manager just left. And I dare say some of the fans would probably like that, just to go. But it's not for the club. I don't know what it is that the club's wanting from the manager, other than victories, and he's not getting them. It doesn't matter what you say; he's not getting them. We shouldn't be losing goals against Dundee United either. Sorry,
I don't mind us losing a goal, Bridge. What I think is we had all that ball before that, never really looked scoring. So the first half of it, we done nothing. We lose a goal. You can lose goals in a game of football. You've got to lose goals. It's how you react, and you go to win the game 3-4-1. It doesn't matter about the goal. You will lose the odd goal. You can't. Our problem this season is, and I'll bring GB in, I think we've scored 12 league goals or something like that. No, there's that. No, 18 league goals or something. I'll just check it with me just quickly, and so I get it exactly when I'm saying it. But 6 of them are in one game, so we're no average. We're not scoring enough goals, and that therein lies the big problem. Let me just get it, GB, so I know exactly the point I'm making. I think
Ox, but that's the thing though, mate. There you know, like, we can't even remember half the goals that we've scored this season because it's been that poor.
17 games, 17 goals in 12 games. Take the 6 away against Ross County, it's 11 and 11, 1 goal a game. You're not going to keep winning football matches if you don't score goals, Bridge.
Yeah, I'm not. Absolutely right.
Aye.
It's not. Look, it's so frustrating for all the Rangers fans, and we're all desperate. But there's no way we should be in this position we're in, but we are. And how do we get out of it? The only way we're going to do it is hard work on the pitch, because we're not going to get fresh people in until at least the end of the year, maybe the start of January. And even then, we might not get anybody in because we don't have enough cash. But it would be great if we could get someone in, or miraculously.
Again, we've got ourselves in a problem where we've got to get some of this people on wages out the door who are sucking us dry. GB, innit? You know, you've got Tom Lawrence's contract's coming to an end in the summer. Matondo's had nearly 2.5 years of wages, very little out of him, you know. Unfortunately, he's not going to leave us, but young Cortez has been ways for nearly a year now and been out injured for pretty much of that. Danilo, with the story behind him, he's hardly kicked a ball for us. We've got loads that are taking so much money out of the club that hamstrings us for going forward, GB. And that's only a handful that I've mentioned. I keep going.
Aye. And I think even a lot of the boys that phoned in before Ox have mentioned that about the injuries. Like, sometimes people discover injuries. There's, I think, recently Matondo on his way back, he's got a slight wee knock, still waiting to get back into training. You're like, come on, like, with Dave Modicott, all these players all at the time, Ox. I mean, it's with Danilo. Just release the boy. I mean, just let him go and play now. Like, there's no point sitting there trying to manage him. If he's going to have an injury, he's going to have an injury. I mean, it's this way that we're trying to be so cautious with him is pointless, because at the end of the day, we could wait to next year and finally just say, right, you're going to be starting number 9 every week, and he goes out in that first game and gets a challenge on him and he's put it for the rest of the season. If he's fit and ready and he's on that bench, Ox, he should be starting. Dessers needs a break. He's not the best, but you can't expect that guy to be picking up the mantle all the time when we've got a boy on the bench who can actually open up defences, as we've seen with the times that he's been on the park.
Before I open up the phone lines, I just want to talk about Dessers, and I'll go to Bridge, who did lay a marker in 1 or 2 strikers in his day. He's an enigma, Bridge, in the performance he done on Saturday. No, I accept he never get any service. I accept that. you know, but there's still basics you've got to do in the centre forward role.
Look, there was plenty of balls going into the box, plenty of them. We had, I don't know how much the percentage of possession was in the first half, probably 70 to 80% possession for Rangers. And we weren't just playing all at the back. We were certainly putting balls in. Now, I don't know whether good enough balls or he just wasn't in the right position. I've said this in the past about him. He's an enigma, no doubt about that. But I just don't think he's good enough for Rangers. I just don't think he's good enough for Rangers. He could score a hat-trick and we're all pleased and he's happy and so on and so forth. But I just still don't think he's good enough for Rangers. I don't know where he gets his reputation from, because he's playing against, I would call them mediocre players in our league, 99 games out of 100. But he just can't seem to be able to do it. Now, as I say, the ball hits him in the bum, it goes in. We're happy with that, it doesn't matter. But seriously, we shouldn't be having a player like Dessers on our pitch. We just shouldn't. It wasn't a full stadium. The weather was dreadful and loads of people couldn't get. But seriously, no matter how many fans go into Ibrox, it's a big stadium and it's got a lot of people in it at all times. And that was a desperate performance that they put up. All of those players, all of them. But when you've got a centre forward that nobody can get to, they can't get the ball to him. He doesn't seem to come to the ball, and when he does, he falls over, or the ball bounces off his knee. All of these things are crazy things that are happening to the guy, and I don't know what he expects. I don't know whether he expects the fans to say that was brilliant. It's not going to happen. He's not good enough. For me, not good enough. And you could see the difference when the boy Danilo come on. What a difference! He tries to get in, he tries to play the ball, and he was involved in the game all the time for the 40.
Oh, we've lost him in full flight there, GB. And you come, mate.
That's what happens when you're on the mobile, my man. Ox, there's a lot that it says today with Clement. I know he's had a tough time with behind the scenes and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, Ox, he's got a remit. I think you talked about the KPIs last night and stuff like that. He has, as much as he might not have what the normal man has in an office or whatever, but he's got a remit to go and improve players, Ox. He's got a responsibility to look at our youth system and try and progress through. Now, I seen a few weeks ago he was sitting watching the B team games and stuff like that, and Lovelace and that ended up getting in the squad and stuff. But for me, like I say, there's no progression for them, but there's no improvement. I mean, can you name a player that's actually improved under Clement? Nobody. It's been a status quo since Beale left, and a massive worry.
I would say maybe John Suter, mate.
Aye, I'll give you that. Aye, definitely. But again, that could be because he's getting to play with Scotland again as well. He's getting that kind of time to progress his game, and he's probably getting to play in his right position this time round. But for me, like I said, your manager, he knew what kind of budget he was dealing with, Ox. And I just think, like I said, the Eggman money getting spent, Cortez money, obviously that's not spent yet, but it's in the budget for next year. I just think the money that we had, Ox, when you look about our league and look about the other managers, how they've been able to build teams that can compete against us, we should be doing a hell of a lot better, Ox. And I think, like I say, the backroom team, for all they've been ex-players and all the rest of it, I do think they should be trying to help the squad as well. We can't just keep having guys turning up and hitting absolutely horrendous shots at goal. I don't, like you says, we've come back for nearly every single international break and we've not seen any improvement, Ox. And that's a big question. Like, what are they doing? Clement has been the biggest advocate saying he needs time on the park. He wants time to work with them on the system and stuff like that. Well, he's been getting plenty of time in these international breaks to do that. And we're still not seeing it, Ox. And see, when we're still not seeing it, then that's when, like I says, we start calling for heeds. Because under Gerrard, the only reason he got time in his whole tenure was because he was working with his first team that he had was, I mean, Middleton, Lafferty and all that. But he had them working hard for him, Ox. They would run through brick walls for him. and we're not seeing a team there that runs through brick walls for Clement. We look now as a team that's been the same as probably when G was ready to get sacked and when Beale was ready to get sacked. The team just looks finished with his tactics. To be honest, the full team look as though they're showing the same attitude as what Cantwell had before he was ready to jump ship. So
are you putting you on the spot, mate? Are you saying he's lost the dressing room? Is that the statement you're making? GB's making tonight?
Basically, Oxan. I think they're bored of it. I don't think there's any enjoyment in training probably as well. I think it's probably too structured for them. They've probably jumped on board it because they had that nice run in last season, running up for the title and all that. Probably it was all rose in the garden. But let's face it, Ox, he was sitting in a position where he had a decent enough team last season. He only had to have 2 draws in the last 2 Old Firms and win every other single game, and he would have won a title. And he couldn't even do that. And that was with a half-decent team. You know what I mean? When Celtic were on the ropes as well, Ox, you know what I mean? All we had to do was draw the 2 Old Firms and beat the rest of them. Now, if we can't beat the rest of them to a title...
If we'd have beat Ross County and Dundee, mate, everything would have been different. That was it, mate. That was a big moment. They 3 games. Motherwell at Ibrox, Ross County and Dundee. And through that Hearts game we played at Ibrox, the wheels came off. Whatever was said after the part, whatever happened, mate, the wheels came off. Anyway, we're going to get the phone lines open and see if people agree with GB. Are you all right with that?
Aye, mate. Everybody's opinion's welcome.
Aye. And we need you to come in. Either that, you're going to have to listen to me and GB all night. That's not a lot of fun, is it?
No, you don't want me moaning about Clement all night.
Let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
I'm struggling to put up an argument, GB, and I remember back in August, I think you were making similar noises then, mate.
Remember it was me. I think it was me, you, and Linda who was on, and I think you're like, I can't believe you're holding up the white flag already. and
I don't know what game it was. Was it the Dynamo Kiev game, or I'm trying to think what game it was.
It might have been. I mean, I think the white flag one was probably after the Old Firm. I think we've written it off then. But I mean, it was the Ajax game for me when we were talking pre-season. I'm like, what is he doing? Like, that captaincy, like if you think Tav's going to be out for that period of time, you should have just went like that, right? You're going to be my captain. Why get it to Golson when you knew that he wasn't even in the plans? He danced around about that, and he just had to show some authority and go like, right, John Suter, you're the captain. I want you to lead. I want you to organise these boys when you're at the park for me. But he danced around about every single game. It was players here, players there. They didn't look as though they understood the tactics. They didn't understand how each other were playing. They just looked totally alien to each other, and it's continued on. And eventually, like I says, he's brought in players, and he's like, they need time. You'll see the best days come at the end of October, start in November.
And that right, didn't he?
Aye, and now look at us.
Lost to Kilmarnock, lost to Aberdeen, and drew with Dundee United. Yeah.
You see, to be honest, Locks, I think his European performances has actually even hindered him even more, because it's proved that these boys have got a bit of talent about them. You can't go to these places and, let's say, Malmo, maybe, let's say, everybody says we should be expected to beat Malmo, but at the end of the day, they've been running about that Champions League and Europa League year in, year out.
We've never beat Malmo in our history up to this season, mate.
Aye, well, there you go. I mean, and so what I mean with that being a hindrance is that there's a team there, there's a team in there, and we can all see that these players can play better than what they are. I think even though Robert that phones in, he said this. I think another manager grabbing a hold of these players could make us hard to beat, Ox, and we could be getting better results. And that would give the fans would understand that. See, if we were grinding out 1-0 results, but we were seeing a team that was fighting for results, then we could put up with that. We would understand that there would be a plan in place that we need to keep to get to each one day and reinforce the team, just like what we've done with Gerrard. We backed him. I mean, what I say is, it was the plain sailing for him. And eventually he nailed it, because he eventually got the team that he wanted come the third year. And thankfully it happened on the year that we needed it most. And this is what's, I know folk are saying hang off with Clement, give him time to get to the transfer windows, but he is not showing that a team is fighting for him. Gerrard, every time you watch Gerrard with his team, they guys were coming off the parks, pure tarps drenched in sweat and fighting for him. That's his tackles going in. You could see they were disappointed going off the park. A lot of the time the players that we see were just going up the tunnel and it's just basically another day for them. You know what I mean? I just don't see the same fighting desire. And I've not seen that, to be honest, since probably Seville, to be honest. That's when I think the full wheels came off the cart for Glasgow Rangers. We've just no recovered for that. We've hit that peak and really we should have kicked on for it. But these foreign managers we brought in, Beale being being like I say, as an assistant manager, we've just basically shot ourselves in the foot. And I think we need to get back to somebody that understands the Scottish game, Ox, or understands British football. For managing. Ox, I mean, I would chuck out names that there and they would get laughed away and stuff like that. But I think, see, to be honest, well, if I had the money, Ox, I'd go for Potter. You know what I mean? Graham Potter.
He's not working at the moment. You never know. You could entice him. He's managed in Sweden, mate. A few years back, I was working with a guy who was a big fan of the team who was in Sweden. Now, I can't even remember the name of the side. I could check it out. He done marvellous things. Obviously, went to Swansea and Brighton, and done well at them. Obviously, never worked out at Chelsea. Yeah, I get it, mate. I understand it. Whether the allure of Scottish football would but help you entice them, I don't know, mate. Whether we spoke to him last year, I don't know, mate. But I mean, I get it, mate.
He's got connections. He's got connections with like your systems as well, Ox. He knows how to develop players and stuff like that. We're needing a manager that's got connections again. I feel as though Clement's had that. I honestly thought when Clement came in, he would be raiding the kind of Belgium league, the best of the young talent in there, and even just like I say, his connections with like loan deals and stuff like that. I mean, it's stuff that he's been bringing in. I don't know, like folks say about the budgets and stuff like that, but we've spent money, Ox, and when I look across, like, say, Aberdeen and stuff like that, how they've been able to build a team and sit where they are. Now, granted, that I do agree with a lot of the fans that they'll tail off, but it's proven, and even it's been proven across the city, you can bring in another manager for the other side of the world, and they can still build a team that can play attractive football and eventually get you trophies. I mean, and Ange Ball was probably one of the ones that's the best example of that. Now, that could be one in a million. We could go and get Muscat and it could be an absolute disaster. But
you'll never know that. You could sign the guy that you mentioned, mate, and he could be a disaster. You'll never know that. You'll never know. You'll never know. That could be for a lot of reasons. You could, 6 of your players could run into each other in training and you end up with 6 of them injured. And, there's multiple factors that come into it. It's like life in general. There's nothing guaranteed. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what I mean about connections, though? Like, say, look, when you look at Jet,
Osterstad or something like that, the team he was with for about a year, mate. He went there, and this guy was a fan of theirs. I'd never heard of him. Actually, I spent a week with a guy, a few years back, and he said he was a genius, and that's before we'd even heard him. And the next thing he came back to the UK and got some decent jobs. So listen. Whether we could entice them because of the league we play, and the club's big enough, mate. It's the problem we've got is the league. Yeah, it's not attractive, mate. 4 times a season, stupid splits, plastic pitches. It's not attractive. No.
Do you think that's where we need to maybe focus our money a wee bit more, Ox? Like we keep trying to buy players and it never really works out. Maybe we should be spending a wee bit more on the manager. Like bringing in a proper good manager.
Listen, mate. We need to get more value. Well, you have your Danilo scenarios, yeah. Maybe Cortez guys get injured and it turns out to be serious. It's hard to legislate for that, but we've had too many guys sitting in the stands, certain players wages at my club, far too many of them, and it's been a big issue for maybe now for, I don't know, 4 years. You know, and it's tens of millions of pounds, mate. You know, because the wages are so big, and it's affecting the club. You know, and listen, it's not deliberate, but it's part of the game. I get all that, but we seem to have been really hamstrung with it. You know, Kemar Roof hardly played a game. Ryan Jack gave him a year's contract, plays about 8 games. You know, some of his decisions, I would have gave Jack the contract, but in hindsight, it was a mistake. Yeah, because you don't get value for your buck. Are we getting value for a buck in Matondo? As Tom Lawrence gave us value for buck, yeah. Young boy come in, Cortez, outside thinks he's going to be a player. He's been with us for nearly a year. Have we get value for money? Yeah, we've seen a bit of potential when we've seen him. But have we get value for money so far? GB, the answer's no. And there's too many to go on, you know.
Aye. And that side is where I sympathise with Clement Ox, is the injuries. But again, that was another thing in his remit that he said that he was going to sort out. And it's no came through. I says that waiting to sign players as well during that summer transfer window was, we should have been on the ball with it really early doors. And granted, he was saying that we wait for people to come out of the Euros and all the rest of it. But if that was the case, then
we couldn't, mate. We had to get players out the door because the FFP, mate. That again hamstrung us. We had to get people out the door, had to sign them off, give them deals to get out the door, free up wages to bring in other players, mate.
see when he's sitting there where he's saying that he was willing to keep a hold of Todd Cantwell, does that mean he wasn't? Does that mean if Todd Cantwell stayed?
Always say that, mate. You'll always say that in case you end up getting left with the player. You know, it's all part of it.
But if you were in his shoes, Ox, with that type of player, right? Would you honestly have done the exact same thing? Would you have no tried to have worked with him and said to him, look, you are like my number one talent in this team, and I need you to create for me. Do you not want to keep a talent like that rather than go and start and rip it up again and try and find? Because look at what we've done with Brajami. We brought him in and played him on left wing. You know what I mean?
I think he's played there a lot, mate. There's a myth he's a number 10. I think when you look at it, he's played there a lot, you know?
Well, if that's, I mean, again, I worry about him then, if that's his position.
Well, no, we've seen him at number 10, have we?
No.
And if let's be honest, you're a better number 10 than Diamandi is, mate.
Again, boy is a bit of enigma and Ox. It's when he came in. I mean, the goals that he was scoring.
If he'd have come out the youth team and had that start, everybody would say, "Oh, good, he's come out the youth team." If he's playing like he's playing this now, people are saying he should have been in the first team. Yeah, because he is only young, but we're paying money for him. Are we getting value for money? And I'll go back again. The answer's no.
No, and we're not seeing improvement, Ox. We're not seeing these players. I mean, he's seeing these bringing in.
It doesn't even look he's improved physically, never mind as a player, mate.
No, and that's what I'm saying. Clement's saying that he's bringing in these young boys so that we can develop them and sell them on. There's no development going on. And that's what I'm saying. We've got these international breaks. That's the time where we're meant to get them as coached and the rest of it. And you're not seeing any coaching on that part. You're not seeing... One thing you're not seeing is a team, Ox. I mean, you're seeing, I mean, like Jack Butland, even his forms fell off a cliff and all. And when that, the goal at the weekend, I don't firmly blame him, but see when you look at his position, he's sitting basically, he's on his back.
He's not going to save it where he was sitting, is he?
No, that's what I'm saying. He's on his backside when the guy seed on the ball in the back of the net. You're like, what's going on?
Shoot to the ball, mate.
I don't. But again, the defence is not either communicating with him. I mean, again, that's not a team that's together, Ox.
No. I mean,
remember McGregor and Goldson? The two of them would be shouting and bawling at each other constantly. You know what I mean? And
you've got to be careful what you wish for when you lose guys like Goldson, mate. Yeah, that wasn't. It doesn't look so bad now. Anyway, I think he's bounced back in, sorted his technical problems out. I think the bridge is back with us.
I'm back with you, pal. Sorry about that.
No, it happens, mate. It happens. Are you all right?
I'm cool, yeah, cool.
Right,
Sorry
I'm
to
going
everyone.
to put a simple question to use two simple blocks, yeah?
Oi, simple.
Right.
Right.
Right. And we've played this game a million times. You're all right, GB. It's no naked twister. That's for the Christmas night out. Right.
It's not that. It's not that Ibrox postcode either, is it?
Stick or twist. Stick or twist. All right. Bridgeman, stick or twist.
For me, with whom? What's it? Stick or twist what?
The manager.
Oh, the manager. Well, at the present moment, way things are, we need to twist. Yeah.
Right, you're always a twister.
Yeah, I've got to be it.
Yeah. What's your background noise there, Bridge?
Oops.
When you go GB, stick or twist.
Right, definitely a twist for me, Ox. That team should be doing far better than what they're doing in the league.
Yeah. All right, mate. We'll put that out to the callers, won't we? It's a simple question, isn't it, GB, isn't it?
Aye, and
And then
hopefully
we'll
this
ask
the
them
socials.
why? Because I think the two of you have laid out the case on behalf of the prosecution. And it's not the first time you've done that, Bridgeman. I think he's on mute now, GB.
He's on mute. He's on mute.
No, I'm not in mute. I'm not in mute. I didn't realise you were speaking to me. So forgive me once again.
I say this is not the first time you've heard the case for the prosecution, is it?
Oh no! Don't remind me, please. Don't remind me. Oh my God, memories.
Great. So yeah. So listen. I think this only ends one way, you know, and look, there'd be nothing would give me greater pleasure if he came in and he turned it round and we get better every game, GB. He made us all eat with words and we say, oh, by the way, must we sit the day? I don't think that'll happen. And I also, in his defence, I take a lot of the stuff on that Allbear and Southside was saying last night about where you go and what you do next and how the circumstances. I get all that. My concern is when I watch the football. When I watch the football, I don't see a style of play that's entertaining me. I don't see a style of play scoring enough goals. I don't see a style of play that's flexible enough. And I don't see players who look as if they're involved, GB, and that's the point you're making.
No, Ox, don't see it. I've not seen it since. I've seen a bit of it when he first came in, where he kind of seemed to be a wee bit more structured and what's his creating more when he first came in. But this season, I don't know what's happened. You just can't week in, week out. You just see players totally no linking up. That's his people out of position, Ox. Could be a wee bit of the language barrier as well, Ox, to be fair, because I think we've brought in a lot of boys that have had to learn English and all the rest of it. And is like Yefty's, you can see the boy's got talent, but again, he's not switched on at times, which is going to causes problems. And then you've got a forward line. Well, not so much Dessers, but like say, Brajami's came in the door. Tierney was hot and cold. Cortez injured. Like you says, it's just been a bit of a mixed bag for him, and it's up to him, like I says, to tap into our youth system. Like I says, there's boys in there that I think wouldn't do any worse than what we're seeing on the park the now, Ox. And I don't understand why he doesn't give them a chance, a run out. You know what I mean? Because if you've got, like you're saying, a guy like Dessers who's having a horrendous game and you're scared to use Danilo, then why not give, I think it's that young boy, it's a striker that's scoring a lot of goals now for the B team. Why not just give him the opportunity? Zach Lovelace as well. Why not, again, Brajami's looking tired, put Zach Lovelace out there. Why put on our Eggman striker who's meant to be the next hot prospect, we fire him out on the left? I don't get that. I mean, there's opportunities there. Again, Hadji, an internationalist, I mean, knows that kind of system where you're playing in the 10 and yet he continues to play Diamande in there. I mean, Hadji's got well more experience than what Diamande's got. So why not start with Hadji and then bring on Dio for the kind of near the end of the game. That could maybe his pace and power could maybe open up the team, but they start with him and then what I say is basically this final with the Wolves, and then the next minute you're putting Hadjo on, who did look bright, but again he's only getting half an hour.
Well, it was on the whole second half, mate.
Aye, sorry.
But on a half time.
So that says, why not just give him? That says, get him in the team again and just get him playing. Ox, get him playing back in that position he was playing for Gerrard.
He didn't play that much, did he? He was playing me on the right, wasn't he? You know, where Tierney's playing, yeah. Yeah, didn't he? I don't think he played the 10 much because Gerrard played a different system, didn't he?
No, definitely not. I think, he played. Did he not play at the 10 and out in the right?
He played there, but most of the time he played on the right, didn't he? Yeah, he was there on the right, you know.
Well, there you go. He's got a good. He's got a backup there for Tierney as well. You mean?
Right,
so,
but listen, I'm not saying that Hachi can't play on the left, and Diamante's performance, Bridgman and Saturday along with Dessers was the two of them. I mean, the team wasn't great, but they two were outstandingly bad, Bridge, yeah?
Oh, yeah, so that's the worst I've seen Diamante playing. Admittedly, it's not the worst I've seen Dessers playing, but it's the worst I've seen Diamante playing. And I had great high hopes for that guy, and I thought he was going to be a marvellous addition to your team. And, you know, for some of the matches he's come in and he's played very well because he's found a wee position for himself. But for some reason or other, he can't find that position any longer. And it might be, I think there's only a couple of players playing really well for us at the moment, and we all probably all know who it is. And there's others that are playing quite well, but there's very few playing really well, you know, seriously. And there's some playing terribly bad. And the two that you've mentioned are there now. I doubt that. I don't know how much we paid for Diamande. I thought it was a steal for us because it's a Danish international or whatever it was he is. But seriously, my God Almighty, the way he tries to pull the ball down, he's probably got quite good trickery in his body and movement and so on. But he just doesn't know where he is on the pitch at the time, you know. He gets caught a lot. Doesn't get caught a lot. He does, you know. I think Diamande is at the present moment a waste of jersey.
Well, in Saturday's performance, he was in. Let's give the manager credit. GB didn't miss a boot. He whipped the two of them off, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Aye, he made the changes, Ox, and it did make a difference. I can't know. Agree with that, but it's just the tactics stay the same, Ox, don't they? You know what I mean, like I says, why no try and do something different? Why no? I mean, Dundee United made it clear what they were coming to do. I mean, and they just stuck with their tactics again against a team that's wanting to sit in and hit us in the break. I mean, it's just he just makes a rod for his end back, Ox, and this is where the frustration comes in. This is where we see that there's no end game to come on. The only end game's got to be him getting sacked because he's so rigid with it. Even the thing as well about he doesn't like them doing certain tackles and stuff like that, Ox. I mean, look at our set plays and corners and how many free kicks we get on all that for outside the box. Very limited, Ox. I mean, and that's a big part of the game. It was a big part, again, I don't want to harp back to it all the time, but it was a big part of Gerrard's train with set pieces and stuff like that. And we've got come on there who knows about the defensive side of the game, and yet I don't see any of our boys when it comes to corners. You can probably guarantee it's just got to get popped into the box, and then the opposition are just going to kick it away. There's no, like I says, there's no talent in there with that. There's just that's where your coaching is meant to come in. That's what you're meant to be doing during the week. I heard somebody saying last night as well that they're only training like an hour a day or something like that.
I don't think that's unusual at this time of the season, mate. With midweek games and that. Yeah, you'll do all your stretching, your warm-up, you'll do your analysis, and you'll have programmes, different boys at different levels, depending if they're coming back for injury or different programmes. But collectively, I mean, the actual training, warm-up and all that might take about 20 minutes before it, while I'm doing 20 minutes. and then you'll go flat out for training. That's not unusual this time of the season, GB.
I get that, mate, but would you know, in the position that you're in, would you know have them in and waste, like I say, try to develop something? I mean, I don't understand that. I don't know why you go, all right, boys, good training today, we'll see you on Saturday. Make sure he's turned up and
What they'll do this week, they'll have Sunday off. They might get called in to get through and have a look at, because they were that bad, but the chances are they would have done that Monday. The day they'd have a session, they'll be getting ready to travel because they've got to go to Nice, yeah. And then they'll travel to Nice, they'll have a session there, an hour on the pitch, working on some, laughably, some set pieces, GB. And then they'll have had all the information on the opposition. And then they'll play the game. They'll have Thursday off, come back in Saturday morning. And then they'll work on set pieces for the game on Sunday. And what the other team's going to go, there'll be no training this week at all. Is what you would say training, mate.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll happen a lot when you've got 3 games a week. Bridgeman, in you come.
I was just going to say, and ask a question, to be perfectly honest with you. We've only really got one player, by the look of it, that can take corners and take free kicks. We sort of badgered on about Tavernier doing all that, taking every corner and every free kick. And now it seems we're using Czerny along those lines, maybe because he probably is the only one that knows where the goal is and has a shot at it. But we have to do something better than that as well. Surely the left backs, the boy that's Yefty, surely he can cross a ball with his left foot from a corner. I don't know. That's a question for you two. I just don't see it. And people are just fed up seeing every time there's a free kick anywhere near the goal, that is, then it goes to Czerny because he's probably got the best shot. Why are we getting 6 players or 7 players in the team that can't shoot at goals? Don't know where the target is, or can't meet it, can't get it? Just weird, man. Just weird. To me, anyway. I'd love to hear your comments on that, if you wouldn't mind.
Well, we've got a team that we've got Bajami and Czerny that can strike a ball. Dessers isn't a great striker of balls, your centre forward. Diamandi, even a couple of goals he came when he joined us at the start were mere scuffs. Lawrence can strike a ball. Barron and Raskin will never score because it's very difficult to score for other team your own half. The 2 fullbacks, Sterling's not that tight, and Jeffy's just learning with the people we've got. There you go. That's me talked about them all. Pretty much who's playing week in, week out. GB.
Aye, Ox. The only thing I agree with Bridges, though, it's a big part of the game again. When Sterling you've seen the kind of runs that he had when he was playing out in Benfica. You know what I mean? How he can score a goal, and that kind of enthusiasm, that kind of bassy side to him, where it was just kind of the boy would just run and things would just happen for him, has been sucked out of him, Sterling. And again, it comes down to man management.
I don't think he's a fan of the manager, Sterling. I don't.
No, Ox. Again.
It's like Bridgeman when you tell him it has round. It's a look you get in it.
Aye. Or you tell him that he's on mute and when he's not on mute.
Oh, God.
And he usually says, it's my round, Ox, you get them.
Aye. Oh, God. You're really shocking. You've not. Oh, yeah. At least you haven't said I'm a phone pinging or something like that. So,
no, yet, mate.
Well, yeah. Well, you probably have, actually.
It's
just to add to the man management thing. Remember in the League Cup game, the semi-final, when Tav and Dessers got pulled off and all that, and it was all the talking now that they were holding their hands up to their mouth and all that, and everybody's going, oh, they're not looking happy and all that. And then at the end of the game, Tav was wandering around with Sterling and it was hiding their mouth talking. When have you ever seen all that going on before? I mean, what I mean with that is that you've got new players openly talking on the pitch about situations that's happened in the game. And I maybe been putting 2 and 2 together, but like I says, a lot of that carry on never just went on. And no in the past, no when we were winning, Ox. And this is a thing. See when players are unhappy.
I think you're reading too much into it, mate. Yeah, they might have been saying, "Where are you going tonight?" You know what I mean?
When like Sterling and that are starting talking, and then when Dessers shows that look as if to say, "Why have I been brought up?" I just think the management in there the new is horrendous. I don't think the players.
I think you've made your point, mate. You don't rate him, do you, as a man-manager?
No, I don't think he's helping the team, Mox. I don't think he's getting the best out of players. I like say Dessers and stuff like that. He's murder Ox, but he play to folks' abilities. I mean, again,
because other players see that and that's affecting them. They're saying he keeps playing him. The players don't trust him because it's a big focal point of your team. You're centre forward, mate. He's the guy that's meant to be scoring and be involved in a lot of your goals. And Dessers has scored goals for us this season, but there's been times, as Bridge said, he's been appalling. Bridgeman, isn't he?
Yep, absolutely. Can I use one word? And I think everybody believes appalling. And man is appalling.
Ox, can I ask you? Do you think a manager could do better with that squad that's sitting there now? Do you think another manager, either like Sam McInnes or even a Potter or something coming in, do you think they could have them playing better football, especially against the teams that we are up against in the SPFL?
Do I think another person would get a better tune out of that group of players? The answer is yes, I do. Who that is up for debate and conversation, who's available and who wants the job, mate. And I do agree with a lot of the stuff you're saying about the man management. Yes, I do. And I think I've made my point for maybe since February, maybe January, on here about the tactics of the team, Bridge. It's only my opinion. I mean, I have been wrong before, as you know, Bridge.
Well, nobody over. Sorry, I could have said that wrong. Anyway, what I was going to say was I agree with you 100%. There's a number of us sitting in the Scotland rear have been complaining bitterly about the style of play that the club's got, and add the boardroom problems as well. Add it all in. It's a really, really bad situation that the Rangers are finding themselves in, particularly the fans. But people like yourself, who are, let's say, you're the leader of the Rangers Radio, and there's many other leaders of other. No, I'm saying that in all honesty. The people will listen to you. You've got a voice. You've got something to say. Us who phone in are part of the shall we say, or the panels. Yes, we've got something to say, but we don't. It doesn't carry as much as yours would. Hence the reason why you get into so much trouble right now. But I'm not.
I can do that on my own, Bridge.
I'm not being funny. I'm not being funny when I say it. When you say something, people listen. I don't know whether they might agree with you or not, to be perfectly honest with you. It doesn't really matter. But I tend to agree with you. And what you've just said over the last couple of minutes there, I agree 100% with you. I'm not quite as vociferous as you when it comes to these things. I didn't want the manager to get the bullet. I wanted to see him to the end of the season, and then we could do a natural change thing. But unfortunately, no matter what we said, we had a horrendous end to the season. And there we go. We're left with virtually nothing, egg in our face. But we're there, and we've got a whole close season to bring players in and get ourselves in, and nothing's happened in reality. We're simply as bad as we were last season, and it's as simple as that.
Right, listen. Before we go to the tune, can I just give you a personal shout out? And I know Bridgeman knows him as well. But this is for me and Fox. All Mac.
All Mac, yeah.
Aye, all Mac. Chin up, brother. You're on a long journey, mate, and you're one hell of a character, and we do miss you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chin up, brother, and a big shout out for your mucker, Fox.
Yeah.
Top man of Mac.
On your cell, Mac.
A real character, Bridget.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Well,
I remember the big Hammer was going to open a wine bar at Annie's Land Cross. They were taking the toilets, the public toilets that used to be there. They were going to demolish them and build a wine bar there. And he said to me, Bridgeman, you and I get down there and we'll meet. On the opening night, we'll be there. Let's do it.
But I think you thought it was going to be Eldar Radel.
Exactly. The old stuff, you know.
Mac, chin up, mate, and I hope you're feeling better soon, brah.
Yes.
Right, listen, GB, time for a tune. What do you fancy tonight?
He's a bit of Kylie.
Kylie, you should be so lucky.
Enjoy that.
Oh, every other Saturday, my half day off, and it's up to the match I go. Happily we wander down the Copeland Road, me and my wee pal Joe. Oh, we love to see the lassies with the blue scarves on. We love to hear the boys all roar. But I don't have to tell you the best of all, we love to see the Rangers score. Whoa, me, oh, me, oh, me, oh, my. Oh, how we love to hear the cry. We love to see the lassies with the blue scarves on. We love to hear the boys all roar. But I don't have to tell you the best of all, we love to see the Rangers score. Oh, we won the Scottish League about 1,000 times. The League Cup is simple too. We gave some exhibitions in the Scottish Cup. We gave a Wembley Wizard too. And when the Glasgow Rangers win the European Cup, like the one they had before, we'll rally round an Ibrox 100,000 strong. We'll give the boys an Ibrox roar. Whoa, me, oh, me, oh, me, oh, my. Oh, how we love to hear the cry. We love to see the lassies with the blue scarves on. We love to hear the boys all roar. But I don't have to tell you the best of all, we love to see the Rangers score. To hear the cry, we love to see the lassies with the blue scarves on. We love to hear the boys all roar. But I don't have to tell you the best of all, we love to see the Rangers score. Whoa, me, oh, me, oh, me, oh, my. Oh, how we love to hear the cry. We love to see the lassies with the blue scarves on. We love to hear the boys all roar. But I don't have to tell you the best of all, we love to see the Rangers score.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, phone in, speak to the lovely assistant, and he would then contact you back and bring you into the call. It's that simple, GB, innit?
Aye, easy peasy, Ox. Sorry, nearly done a Bridgeman there.
Aye, I know. That's all right, mate. It's all right. Listen, off the park, things seem to be moving. Obviously, we're getting a new chief executive office coming in, Patrick Stewart, who has had a long in various roles at Man United. Don't want to judge GB because you need to give him a chance. It's a different kind of role. And I don't think it's a kind of job you get too upset about if the team's winning, mate.
No, it's one of the roles into it. Same with the chairman to a certain extent, that they kind of go into the background when you've got a exciting winning team on the park, Cox. But as it stands now, let's say every appointment now we're kind of scrutinising. I'm surprised how we can go for like St Mirren to Man United, Ox, in our recruitment strategy. It's why we no went to the kind of Man United, the guy that was at Man United in the first place. It's that brings up questions for me as well. But I says got to give the guy a chance, and hopefully he's got good connections, Ox. Because again, this is what we're needing. We're needing networking involved in Ibrox again. I'm hearing about the chairman that's been linked to us as well.
He's coming in,
I
a
heard
strong
that he's got.
business CV.
Yep.
A strong business CV, yeah.
So again, I think he's been involved in Parliament as well, Ox. So always good to get involved with these things, especially with another Commonwealth Games coming up as well. We want to be getting some of that funding this time round, I would expect, Ox. So
the mini games, mate. It's the mini games, isn't it?
Aye, that's it. But it's all money that again that could go towards helping rejuvenate and about Ibrox and stuff like that.
But you couldn't. If there's a club in the United Kingdom, Great Britain and Northern Ireland that shouldn't take any money for the Commonwealth Games and couldn't wait to take it, you couldn't redden their neck with a blowtorch, mate.
Well said, mate. No, you're right, Ox. But again, what we can't be doing this time round, Ox, in with any event that's coming up, and hopefully that says with these guys getting appointed, we've got to be on the front foot, and again, been looking to be straight in there, saying that we want to be a part of it, and we want a bit of the funding as well. You know what I mean? So hopefully, like I says, we're more switched on with guys that are, like I says, in and around these people who do these kind of business deals.
We wish him all the best. Doesn't start to just before Christmas time. Patrick Stewart, brilliant name, Bridgeman. Hope we don't need to beam him up.
I love it, by the way. I didn't really want to comment on his name. Oh my God, yeah. Oh dear.
Were you a trekkie back in the day, Bridge?
No, I was not. No, never was. No, don't get me wrong. You see some parts of it, it's quite good, but invariably, no. I think that I preferred him in was it the X-Men or something like that he was in. I quite liked him in that.
Right.
But it was a bit ridiculous as well at times, but never mind.
Listen, we wish him all the best, the new CEO, and obviously the new chairman, I think could be in any day now. So he's got a difficult task, but you'd like to think that the people who are now took the cudgel up have started to put the jigsaw pieces together, GB, to hopefully get it right this time. No, this guy could come in 6 months' time and the guy turns around and says, I'm off, because depending on the contract, people can move on or whatever. You just don't know. It's life. But hopefully somebody comes in successful and has moved for a long time, gives us stability.
Yep, Ox, I really do hope so. I think the good thing is the guy's actually sat down with, I would imagine, the board members for the interview, and he's probably been able to see and know what's actually going on behind the scenes, a lot of stuff that we don't get to know about. So I don't think a guy like that would have took on a job that was going to be a poison chalice, Ox. He must have seen something that he's willing to come in and try and help and fix. Because again, you're always putting your reputation on the line as well. If you come in and it's an absolute disaster, then it kind of, these guys in these kind of circles, it can affect them getting another kind of role, Ox. So I think he'll be looking for kind of assurances as well. I think I've seen things that they're going to give him a lot to say and what he can and can't do, kind of thing. I think the board are going to have to kind of take a bit of a back seat, and he's going to lead the way in it. But like I says, I did like the kind of date that he's starting. It seems to be after a few pivotal games for us, Ox. So I'm wondering if this is the kind of bit where he'll sit back and watch what's going on and then make a decision on where to improve. Ox, I don't know about you. Do you take much out of the date that he's starting, or is that just a coincidence?
The cynic in me says it's no coincidence, but the AGM's going to be the way. I don't know if there's any what he's doing with himself day to day at the moment. Don't know that much about him. It just looks as if it's come in with a clean slate. Hopefully, come in on a high. But the way everybody's feeling this new, they might see it differently. But look, we wish him all the best, GB. But I get your point. Bridgeman and new chairman coming in, and then it's up to the rest of the board to then put the building blocks in place to support the CEO.
Oh yes, CEO coming in. He'll come on in the when's he starting? Is it 4th of December or something? The CEO, I mean.
A wee bit later than that, Bridge, yeah. After the cup final, yeah.
Is it? Oh right, okay then. I don't know why I was thinking the 4th of December, to be perfectly honest with you, but I just thought that. However, yeah, he's going to come in, and as GB said, there some key games for us coming up, and a lot of us were hoping that we would have somebody in the board, leading the club, but at both sides, both at the sort of heading level at the chairman and the chief executive officer. However, it looks like we're not going to get that, and I think something no right that we can't bring in the CEO earlier for the AGM. I think both of them should be in and should be there. If they'd accepted the job and it's all done and dusted, then they should be there.
I would do if I was
No, I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about what I think. I'm talking about, and I imagine Rangers supporters would just love to see the two top men are coming in, and this is what they're going to be like, and they introduce themselves to the rest of the club. But it's not going to happen by the sound of it and look of it. But I do congratulate Rangers, and I congratulate them on their appointments, and it'll be. They're sadly missed, and I don't even know how good they are, but somebody sadly missed because we ain't got one. We ain't got any of the two of them. So we need them in the door, and that'll be a tremendous thing for us. At least we're getting somebody at executive level to make decisions and do the right things for Rangers, because we're in a bad way.
Aye, we need that stability, and then a driving force, GB, and then hopefully they can take the fans base and the mood improves. We start winning football matches.
Would that be one of the questions you'd ask at the AGM, Ox? Would that be like? I mean, some of the questions that's been asked in the past at the meeting, they've been wild about car parking spaces and all the rest of it. But if you had the chance to actually stand there and ask the board, what would you actually ask them?
Why Philip Clement's not gave me a ring?
and why have you not took on Rangers Radio?
He's got my number. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, listen, there's a list of questions. Yeah. Obviously, if you're looking a bit, you would want to maybe say, take Bridges' point, why has it took so long to get these key positions filled in the club? Yeah. And then if you had to fill them, now what they couldn't have justified is Bisgrove walking out in July, so you can't plan, but you should always have a plan B as an executive team. So you never know when people can walk for various reasons. Internal promotion, decide that they want to leave, health, anything, GB. So you need a plan B. I would like to know that. I think the support just need a wee bit better explanation to tidy off the improvement work at Ibrox, which, by the way, I've not heard any bad reports about. And the facility for the disabled section is meant to be a going success. It wasn't at the start of the season when we were going wrong, but you should also remember what they were trying to do, and as a tick in the box. So I think they corner that off. And then I would want to know, then that's the business side of things, the two things, and then I would want to know about the football, mate. I'd want to know about the football. I'd want to, if I could ask the whole group of the management, and include the manager, why do you persist in this 4-2-3-1, mate, when it's obviously doesn't work domestically? That makes sense, Bridgman.
100%. 100%. You could also kind of answer that yourself. Why are they persisting on it? Because they don't know any better. They don't know any better. They're not football managers. The people up at the top end, even the chief executive.
What I'm saying is the manager would be sitting there at this time, yeah?
Yes, of course. Right. Okay. And yeah, you can answer him. You can ask him dead straight, and I think he would give you the same old gobbledygook that he's come out with in the last few months. And sometimes he means it. Sometimes he means what he says. I just he can't convince the Rangers fans of what he means. He just can't convince them. They don't see the same game that he's looking at, to be perfectly honest with you. Different set of eyes, of course. And look, his job's on the line virtually every week. And he's not fallen yet. He's not fallen in his sword yet. But another couple of results like the weekend there, and it could all come tumbling down. And where are we left with? We're still waiting on 2 executives coming in. You know what I mean? So if that guy left at the weekend, or let's say after Thursday, we need people in the door running the show for us. So we need to keep the manager to at least Christmas, to let the boss people in, to let them get their hands on it and see what they can do, if we can do any better. And I heard a wee rumour today that when the chairman comes in, he'll get rid of the Clements. And I thought, no, I don't think that's going to happen, but you never know.
Listen, for me, it's results and then performances. And that's the bottom line. And the results haven't been good enough this season. And the performances have arguably been even worse, GB.
Yep. Aye, Ox, I think that's the thing. Like you say, if you've seen hard working performances with young boys and we're grinding out 1-0 results, then I don't think you get much complaints after the fans, to be honest, Ox. I think they would back it. They'd be like, boys, the young boys dug in the day, they got the result for us, and we keep ploughing on. And again, see, even like saying the Old Firm games and stuff like that, see if they've seen the fight and desire, the matching up the players, probably knowing the opposition is better, but still, let's say, grinding out a draw or something like that, then I think the fans would be right behind it. I don't think you'd be seen as in this scenario, now. But when we're seeing players going on the park who are doing silly mistakes, Ox, when we're seeing is getting cut open left, right and centre in that midfield, when we're seeing is in defence where Dundee United can run up the park and hit a lovely cross into the box and their striker's got a free header on goal while our goalkeeper's lying on his backside. That kind of stuff just can't happen. Not at our level, Ox. I mean, that's even criminal at junior level. I mean, so all that kind of stuff it just adds up to a guy that's either lost, like you say, the dressing room, or a team that is just no understanding the tactics, Ox. They're just no grasping it against our league. And what we need a manager to understand our league, how to break down the wall, but still, what I say is, create the chances that I hate to harp back to it, but that Angeball done, win the game by half time, and then you can see out the game in the second half. We should be going out there full pelt for that first half, destroying them, sucking the life out of them, and then come the second half, that's when we can sit back and play the boring football and allow them to come on to us. And then when they come on to us, we've got the talent and the players and the pace and all the rest of it to break forward and hurt them again. But we don't. We'll allow these teams to get in the game first and give them a goal at a start all the time, and then it's an uphill struggle because fans get on the back, players lose confidence, and again the manager starts to panic with substitutions.
Yeah, listen, it's a phone-in show. Phone in, ask the boys a question. 0141 356 1972. Are we being too harsh? Are we being realistic? Be interested to hear your thoughts, because everybody sees things different, Bridge, yeah? And as long as you're respectful of other people's opinion and recognise that Ox is right, then you'll not have a problem.
I love it. Yeah. Well, I have to say, I dare say, most people I speak to that listen to the show are saying that Ox is nearly always right anyway. Because you've nearly always got a good, reasonable... You've got nearly always got a good, reasonable reasonable things to say, or say things in a reasonable way. Put it that way. You're not extreme, which some folk are, and of course sometimes you're extremely one way or extreme the other way. I consider myself as quite sort of middle of the road, and we'll put up with a lot, and we just hope that the team do better and the manager does better and all the things, because I want my club to be as good as any club in the world. That's what I want. We've got a great club, and it's cost us a bloody fortune to get this far, to pull ourselves back and get this far, and I don't want to go down the slippery slope again. So I'm looking for a chairman and chief executive officer is going to come in and do really good things for the club at the top level. And then whomever it is they're going to have running the team, be it Clement or not, Clement's got to start showing the results. I don't care what anybody says, Mr. Clement has got to start showing results. He may have to turn that around to say to the team, you need to start showing results. I don't know how we would handle it, but he has to start showing results. It's his team.
Ox, can I ask you something? Do you think the board have no pulled the trigger because Clement's actually earning them money? And what I mean with that is the European side of it. Do you think if we were an absolute disaster in Europe as well, that he would probably be
saying if
gone?
we were sitting with 1 point instead of 7? Is that the point you're making?
Aye.
I think that if that had been the case, the clamour would be even more, mate.
Aye. I think that's a big reason why he isn't away. I think because that's where the money's coming in. If he keeps getting us draws and wins in that competition, then the money keeps rolling in. And again, he's got us to a final. And I think that's the only reason that he's getting saved in it. Whereas league form, I mean, that's a question I would be asking the board is, what was the reasoning behind his year's extension? What was the remit for that? Why did they want to do that when they knew that this season was going to be a transition season? I mean, I don't understand why you give a guy another year and tap it. You'd want to, if you're in that frame of mind, you'd want to give him the year to build the team, following season to see how he goes, and if it's successful, then that's when you would offer him the year's extension.
Maybe in their defence, maybe they're trying to perfect what they thought was an asset at the time, because he'd come in and arguably, and this is arguably, was close to win the league, and we should have won the Scottish Cup, which would have gave us a treble. They're thinking we've got the right man here, and things have changed quite quickly. So they've wanted to protect their asset. Now, it doesn't look a wise decision in hindsight, and I don't know if I would have done it, but I'm trying to say what I think their rationale would be. Bridgeman. GB.
I agree with that, Ox. Like it says, business, and I think you even touched on it last night. It's the board take the kind of emotion, the fan emotion out of it, and they got to look at the pennies and the pounds. You know what I mean? And I do get it, and I do understand why we had to cut our cloth in the summer. I just think though there was still a budget there, Ox, that you could give that to a guy that's working off a shoestring that could still build a team. And like I said, I use Aberdeen all the time as an example. Ox, the guy, they were able to bring in a manager in who was totally wet behind the ears to our league, and look how he's galvanised a team and how they're challenging this season. And yet we seem to be bringing in manager after manager that this can't grasp our league. They always need a season. They always need a couple of transfer windows. Why can we not just get a manager that can come in, galvanise the team, and like I say, building what we've got and push on and challenge. I mean, and play nice football. That's all I ask for. Attractive football. Go out there and try your best. And like I say, if the results don't come because of that, that's fair dues. But when you're going out there and you're playing that born football, you're looking at guys that are not interested, and you keep persevering with it, then that's how you lose the fans, Ox. Whereas, see if you maybe go in and grab some of the youth players and you can see them that they were trying or something like that and give them an opportunity, then you could maybe put up with it a wee bit more.
I think what we're seeing this now, these messages, does the thing, any of the youth are good enough.
Sounds like it too. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
That's, I think, in his opinion. I might be wrong, but I mean, geez, we had a chance. We were 5-0 up, I say, against Ross County at Hampden. We put Kieran Dowell on, mate. Yeah, you know.
That's what I'm saying, Ox.
Another mental signing, by the way, but there we go.
Are all these players ready to go at the end of this season?
No, I think Tom Lawrence is the only major one that might be up this season.
So he's going to go then, yeah?
I think his contract's finished this season. Right. There'll be others, but off the top of my head, Tom Lawrence, obviously. Tav is moving into the final year of his contract next summer, isn't he?
I thought it was just I thought this was your final year, so my apologies.
No.
Hadji as well, Ox. I think they're trying to get him shifted on as well.
Well, Hadji's got longer than that. It's whether he's going to play. If he's not playing, we're paying him decent wages to be sitting in the stand, mate. Got to try and move him on. Got to be sensible. Got to take the emotion that's at bridge, isn't he?
Oh, 100%, yeah, 100%. You've got to be realistic, and at the same time, you've got to be realistic for the players, and you've got to be realistic for the club. And if you've got players, or a player even, that's sitting there on fantastic money, because that's basically what Rangers are paying people, fantastic money, and they're not doing it. And you know, I know Hadji came on the other night, and seriously, I thought it was terrible. There was a couple of wee times he looked not too bad, but overall I think it was terrible. But then again, he's just coming back from injury, and he's trying to find his feet on it, you know. And I don't know whether we've made a mistake by not releasing him earlier and getting some coin for him then, because I thought Hadji would be a great player for us, but it shows you how long I've been.
No pace. He's got ability, a real lack of pace, mate. And everybody's looked at him, and nobody's knocked my door down. Let's be really honest about it. Yeah. Yeah. You know.
But see that thing he said about pace there, Oxtia?
Aye.
You don't think that's what our club, our team, it's endemic that we've got no pace. Throughout the whole team, no pace.
Well, if you look at the starting 11, the weekend, the two fullbacks will get more pace before. Barron and Raskin get about the pitch better than, say, Lundstrom, etc. Cherny and Bajami are okay without being flying machines. And then the number 10 and the number 9 were just flat-footed, mate. And so it's right up the middle of the team. Your problem is number 10, number 9, and 2 number 5s. They pace, mate.
Absolutely none. You're absolutely right. Although I give him off my cap to the boy Suter. The way he's playing for Scotland, he's doing well, but not for us. He's probably maybe the better defender, but really he's not a top quality centre half by a long way. And we desperately need to get one. Get a top quality centre half in, and you'll see a huge difference.
Listen, we're moving into the last half of the show. Let's hear from East.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Aye, GB, it's all about opinions, and everybody sees the game slightly different, players slightly different. It's amazing, really, how you can watch the same thing and people say it differently.
I know, and in the past, there's been a few comments from myself that you've like, whoa, I didn't see it like that. You mean? But again, it's just been things that you pick up during the game, and as we've kind of discussed tonight about Clement, how he acts at times and stuff like that, and even the point you made there, Ox, just about the spine of the team. It comes back to the tactics with the thing about the pace with Hadji and all that. Like, again, you know Hadji's ability. You know that he's not got pace. So, again, you've got to adjust your tactics. It's the same way Dessers. Big guy probably could do with somebody up there helping him. You know what I mean? It could be better, maybe a 4-4-2. Especially in our league. You know what I mean? And that's his folk laying the ball after him. And I don't know. But I think you've just got to work to people's abilities. I think if you're moving, like, say, Hadji into any of the other SPFL teams then you totally improve them right away. So how can a guy of that ability not help us against that type of opposition, Ox? I mean, it's man, and again, there's another judgment call for the manager. Again, didn't think we're talking about the Kieran Dow thing and all the rest of it. Judgment call was that Hadji wasn't good enough, and yet now he's sitting on the first team bench. Just don't
that
get
goes back to your point about man management, doesn't it?
It's shocking, Ox. And again, even these coaching, like I says, these assistant managers that are in the background to help him, Ox. We brought that guy, was it Aldrink in the summer there, the Dutch coach. Again, what has he improved? He's maybe gave us a heads up on some of the Dutch transfers that we've been looking at. But apart from that, again, they're brought in as coaches, Ox. And I'm not seeing any coaching.
Yeah, maybe answered your own question, mate. You don't need me to answer it, do you?
No, but I want your and Bridges' opinion on it. I mean, what are the guys in the background doing? Now, I don't want to get on the back of like Alex Ray, because Alex Ray is a good Rangers man and all the rest of it. But again, when you've even seen our ex-manager across in Saudi, they went and sacked his backroom team, and they brought in Beale and all the rest of it. Now, our new CEO is coming in. And if he's looking at our backroom team and seeing that they're no helping our manager, then they've got to go. He's got to say to them, they're getting sacked, and I'm going to bring in people to help you progress this team. So it might not be Clement that goes. It might be the backroom team that goes.
Oh dear. That's scary. I think when the new CEO comes in, and as well as the chairman, we need to wait till the end of the year, past Christmas, and start to make plans then. Maybe make the plans in your head. But for goodness sake, don't do anything is going to rock the boat. Just get us to the end of the end of December. And
There's
into
a lot of football we played, Bridge. That's the trouble.
I'm saying it's just, we can't afford mass sackings at coach level and things like that. It may have to happen. I'm not stupid. It may have to happen. But we have to. I'm really, really desperate to get the last month. We get December and see how far we can go in December, because it's going to be a mountain, and we've got a mountain to climb. And these players, if we can't win our games at Ibrox, then God help us. Seriously, we are going to be many, many, many points behind if we don't start winning. Particularly at Ibrox, if we can't get 3 points at Ibrox, we're a dead duck, and that's the truth of it. And it's going to end up as a massacre in the club, within the club. It's going to end up like that. Something big's going to happen in January, and that's for sure. In my opinion, that's for sure.
I don't know if we'll get to January, Bridge. I just
You might be right there.
I just think this only goes in one way, and the team looks as if they're void of confidence. Now, they might go and play well on Thursday night, and then we'll be even more frustrated because GB will not be able to put our finger on it. We'll say, how can you go to Nice, who we know are better than Dundee United, and play well? And we'll be more frustrated, yeah.
Aye, because it'll probably be an open game of football, and we'll probably have space to run into. And again, this is what I'm saying about we have got talent in the squad. We've got players there that can actually hurt teams. It's just, again, it's down to the manager to figure out a system that's going to be suitable for our league. And this is what Clement's not grasping. And it's not what his background team are not grasping. They're Clement's totally stubborn on this tactic that he needs to play it week in, week out. Now, I think Southside said that sometimes he has played the 4-3-3. But again, we've still looked as though we're getting cut open with that, Ox, at times. And Europe's all well and good. I think we've said before, it's gravy. I mean, it's good that it brings in money. It's much needed money, especially when we're looking to try and improve our squad. But again, the breeding bottles of the league, we've got to get back to a place where I'm not saying that we're going to be getting titles. I'd be just quite happy to know that we can actually challenge for a title. I mean, and be up there and put the pressure on in the dying weeks to actually make somebody make a mistake or whatever, Ox. But the way it is now, I mean, we're sitting in November now at 11 points behind Ox. And like you say, there's a lot of football to be played. I mean, if we're getting more and more draws as the season goes on, and we think that's acceptable. But with the budget that we've got and the players we've got in that squad, it's definitely no for me, Ox. No manager can survive that. I don't think. No at Glasgow Rangers.
Aye. It's the tune that we keep getting drawn back in. Hopefully tomorrow night I'll get the boys' thoughts quickly and we can move on to the game on Thursday. But it's the way we are this now, GB, and I don't know how you going, because obviously that's the big talking point at the club just now. We can talk about individual players and the manager, there might be some sympathy there, and I get that. But everybody will be, should you stick or should you twist? And it's nothing else. That's the debate, raging WhatsApp groups, friends, families, pals, guys in the pub bridge. That is the debate.
Yeah, look, I think we're all saying, the three of us are saying similar things, if not exact words. I'm desperate. I'm just desperate for a win. And Thursday, is it safe to say, Oxtia, that we have to win on Thursday?
No, not at all. But if we do win, we're pretty much through.
Absolutely. I'll be delighted if we get a victory. Even if we get a point out of it, I'd be over the moon.
I'll be tying France historically a tough game, mate. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. But what I don't want is an absolute hammer. I don't think we can afford to go over there and get pounded, because the confidence will fly away out the door, because they'll all be thinking we do no too bad in Europe and we can move on in it. And by the way, they can move on. We all know that if we win on Thursday, we're in with a really good shout of going through, providing we keep our head. And my God Almighty, wouldn't we love it? Wouldn't we just love it? I'm actually fear for them. I really do fear for them. But I'm only going by the way I watch them and what they do, and it's the same players that play in Europe as that play at the weekends, and and they could play really well in Europe, but they just don't seem to be able to play really well or win really well. Let's put it that way, because they do play quite good football until they get to the 6-yard box or even the penalty area, and they just can't do anything but look at it. However,
even when you think back to the two good performances, or even the Lyon game, which we well beat at the finish, but however, if you think to Malmo, if you think to Lyon, and you think to Athens, GB, the chances we made and never scored, it's like a broken record, and it's even the same domestically. We're not scoring enough goals.
That's it. Why was that not the priority in the summer, Ox, to bring in another striker? They would have knew early doors about Danilo. There's no way that just popped up out in area.
No, it was meant to be back in August, wasn't it? As another injury.
Aye, but again, there was even rumours before that, the way he was walking and stuff like that there was something up with him. And then we knew about Dessers was always hopefully going to be the backup guy. Dessers would see in a squad that was doing well, Ox, and at kind of our level, Dessers would be all right as a third choice striker. But the way it stands, we knew going into that summer that he was going to be the number one striker. Why did he? I understand that they're saying about Eggman that they had to buy him at that time, or else they would never have another chance to buy him. But see, to be honest, Ox, we will always have a chance to go and buying hopefuls. The next guy will come along. And Eggman might have went on and played for, I don't know, a top English club or whatever. But we've got 4 million sitting there that we should have been spending elsewhere on the priorities, which would have been goal scorers. Same with Cortez. We should have been saying to them, look, we'll take him on another season loan, and then we'll discuss about transfers. But we've went and shelled that out now. Now, this boy could come back and break down again and again, and then we're landed with another Matondo for another 4 years. It's madness. But again, this is what the manager is okaying. And Clopton, by the way, Clopton's got a lot to answer for that as well. He's been promoted, but I tell you, he needs to pull up his socks as well in his position. He's got to start making something of that academy and Fit Academy and all the rest of it. He's got to start producing it out of that and all.
There's no the start 11 or the substitutes who come on the weekend. No, there wasn't one academy player. Yeah. And there's some young players in there, Jeff Diamandi, Casemiro when he was fit, So, no, there's nothing for the academy. And Bridgman, I think me and you agreed, he sort of told you a few times that he doesn't think they're good enough without saying it.
Yeah. That's the saddest thing, without saying it. I would prefer the manager came out and said things. I know that it's his team, because they can't turn around and say it was the last man that got all these players. So the biggest chunk of them now are actually playing are his own players, in my opinion. So and I obviously I wish him luck, and I hope it all happens for my team and my club, because we could do with a lift. Just please come out and tell us. Just come out and tell us, because we just don't know. I believe you can maybe confirm this for us or deny it, whatever. I'm hearing that there's going to be a huge protest in the Kilmarnock game, Ibrox, on the 4th of December. I don't know how true that is. You heard anything?
I've not picked that up, Bridge, but it's obviously it's 2 weeks away, so momentum can grow. And I don't like the kind of things personally. I understand that, and it depends what it's for. I mean, if it's for change, and is it changing the manager or changing the and the strategy or the leadership of the club, but that is slowly changing, isn't it? They're going to have a new chairman in, we've got a new CEO in, and then if anybody wants to get together and buy these people's shares off them, they've got the right to do it. But as we sit this now, the people who own the shares.
They're not getting my shares, I'll tell you that.
No, mine neither. I mean, there is a potential that you could have another share issue, Bridge, yeah?
Well, I'll take that. We'll cross that bridge when it comes to it. But the truth is, the people that have bought their shares, they didn't buy our shares this time, the last two share issues. We didn't buy our shares for a big investment to the club, blah, blah, blah. We bought it as an investment for the club. Under no illusions. It was for the club, get some money into the club, and that's what it was for. But don't get me wrong, if someone comes in and says, look, this is the way it is, but in order for us to take the next step, we need so many. We need to buy so many shares off you, and maybe even buy out all the shares. And we're asking the shareholders to do that. So give us your shares, and we'll run the club here. And I don't know whether that'd be a good thing or a bad thing. I'd be reluctant as hell to sell my shares. But if it's for the club.
But there's a share offer. What I mean is they would have more shares and people get the opportunity to buy more.
Yeah.
But that's a whole different debate. Anyway, listen, Fox has just sent me a point about Europe just quickly before we move on. We've talked about this 4-2-3-1, and we have played well, and it has been successful in Europe. And I would argue that one of the best performances under Philip Clement, maybe even better than the best performance, was Benfica away. How we never won that game? If it was a boxing match, how did they get 2 goals that night? It was a mystery, a penalty and our own goal out of nothing. And we played, we should have won the game. And what a result that would have been. And maybe I took us through, and you never know what could have happened, GB. But why can we do that in these games? Is that really firing the frustration, mate?
I think so, Ox, and I think the reason we can do it, Ox, is because the handbrake gets taken off. The players are allowed to breathe and play, and in a sense, the pressure's kind of taken off as well, because maybe they're they see it as they're the underdog in that. Whereas when it is like the league duty, then they're seen as the team that must go out and win. So I'm wondering if the team are handling the pressure well, don't know. Whereas with these European nights, like he says, it's kind of a free hit a lot of the time for them. Maybe the focus as well has been on Europe. Ox, maybe, again, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but I think manager would have wanted to go and have a good, decent league campaign, but I think the board know and the manager knows that we need money in, and maybe there's been a focus on the tactical side with the European games, and that's why we're doing so well in that as well, because we know if we bring in the money, then that money can hopefully get reinvested into the squad come January, come the next summer transfer window.
Yeah, what do you think of it? Because it's an open game of football, Bridge, and teams don't try and stop you. You're allowed to have your strategy to try and stop them and go forward without the total negativity. What's your thoughts?
Oh, that kind of football is just wonderful to watch, where both teams are committed, and it's just great to see. Absolutely wonderful to see. And I have to say, I watched a game with Ipswich Town and Man United, and it was great. It was end to end for most of the game. Really and truly, seriously, I thought it was a smashing game. I just love all that. I love the Premiership. 99 times out of 100, it's a wide open game, and the players are really good and they go for it. I like that. Obviously, in Scotland, I make no bones about it. You've heard me saying it. People have heard me saying it before. Sometimes it's a struggle to watch when you're talking about the low block and that manager that came. The manager of Dundee United. We all know him. Every team he plays, every team he's got, he comes and it's a low block all the way, and he just boot the ball up as far up the park as you can get it. You know, like these kids playing football, or when we played football ourselves, actually, at times. Just boot up as far as you can. Somebody might pick it up and do something, and that's what they did. That's exactly what they did for the first goals.
Aye, well, it was a decent cross, wasn't it?
Oh, it was a fantastic goal, by the way. The cross must have been 35 yards, and both centre forward, centre halves are standing watching it, and they're going to blame the Yefty for no covering. Right, okay, that's a centre halves ball all day, every day.
I thought it was in the middle of the goal. That's how I thought the centre half should be near. If that in for the right hand post or the left hand defensively,
yeah,
I think you could look at Yefty. I thought because it happened so quick, you could argue it was a couple of paces away from where he should have been. But for me, the centre halves,
100%, 100%.
You know, that's how I see it. I mean, all Bear and Southside seen it differently last night. I spoke to them off air. I hadn't looked at it, and I've looked at it again, and I still think because of where he is in the middle of the goal, there should be a challenge coming in for maybe both Jeffy and Proper, if I'm being honest, Bridge.
Yeah, I don't really mind about the thing is there was no challenge at all. No, and the centre half, both centre halves saw the ball coming. It wasn't as if it was a tricky ball. It was a boy placed the ball properly, and it went in, and there he was. The guy was nobody near him, no one person near him. I'm including the goalkeeper in that. Not one person near him. Lovely header into the net, bang. What the problem was is we allowed the shot across to come in. We allowed them to mess about, and all of a sudden, you know, we couldn't take the ball off them or whatever. Or we just said, oh, you let them keep it because they can't do much damage. Well, they did. Did a lot of damage. And that kills us. Sorry, it did kill us, I should say. Excuse me.
Yeah. Who do you think will start the centre half at Thursday night, Bridge?
I think it'll be the same too. I think it'll be, in all honesty, I think it'll be the same too. I think Suter's well thought of by, I think the manager thinks quite a lot of him, and he seems to be playing well at international level. So I've got no complaints about him doing that. I just complain that he's no Rangers, he's definitely no Rangers quality centre half. You can think back to all the centre halves that was there, and Suter wouldn't be in among them, and that's for sure. But for what we've got, he seems to be doing no bad job at times, but really and truly great weaknesses. They don't know what they're doing. They're no guarding. They're poor passers with the ball sometimes, and you know, they can't find the goalkeeper sometimes. They're putting the ball back and it's like 10 yards slow, you know, putting danger in. Anyway, I'm not going to say any more about them because I get angry with myself listening to them.
No. Listen, somebody thought Bridgman is their own GB, is he?
No, definitely no. No, I would say most of the sports the same way, Bridge. The manager, I think, will go with he'll go with Suter. The proper thing, I think he might go with him, Bridge, as well. I agree, because I think he's got to get him playing. I think he's got to get him. He's actually, to be honest, he's actually been all right in Europe. It's more the league that he's been an absolute disaster in. But again, Tav and Balogun were rested at the weekend, weren't they? So
Yeah.
I would imagine he's got to bring probably Tav straight back into that right side, and possibly
that doesn't add up, mate. It really doesn't add up.
No,
no, because if I look at the logic here, if I was to play Tav with the D United at home, when you go up against pacier players away in Nice, you play Sterling. That would be my rationale, Bridge. Yeah?
Yep, absolutely.
GB.
Ox, I agree. And again, he's known about what he's got to be doing with Tav the full season, and yet he's just recently started doing it. And this is what I think creates disharmony as well amongst the squad. So if he's ready for change, Clement, then you would expect, like you say, on Thursday, that he goes with Sterling again at right side. He brings in Suter, sticks with Proper, and puts Yefty might be injured right enough, but you would imagine Yefty would go out in the left. But also, I think the manager, he's doing these crazy stuff where he's probably rested Tav, and then he's got to put Tav into this game at Nice, because again, if we win the game, then we're through to the next round, isn't it? So it's a big game. He'll probably see it's a bigger game than the Dundee United game now.
Oh no, I don't think he can. I don't think he can look like that, mate, because the pressure's just mounted up, and that's where a draw. You know, and if he does that, that gives me other concerns, because where are you going to get more attacking play against Nice or Dundee United? You know, and for 20 minutes to go, I was actually wanting to take Sterling off and bring Tav on at the weekend, Bridge, because it was more suited to him, maybe getting in the box or making something happen. I know he's not been in great form this year, but he's a more an offensive player than Sterling, isn't he?
Oh yes, and by the way, that wasn't a bad shout. I personally wouldn't want to do that. However, I don't think Sterling was brilliant in second half, but I think he had a smashing game overall. Nothing against him that way, but you can see he's not a right winger for a start, and you can see he's really not used to that side of the park too much up the top, like, you know. But yeah, when he does it, he tries, and he sometimes gets good crosses in, or low crosses along the ground. But Tav, wouldn't have been a bad shout actually to put Tav on there. You know, that's what I said earlier. You do come up with some good stuff, and that was not a bad shout. I never thought it. That was a good
Santa,
shout.
mate, once a year.
Say nothing.
Did you get your Rangers Radio advent calendars through the post today?
No, I never.
Aye.
Did you get yours?
I did actually.
Hate you,
Fox
Barry.
number 24. Can't believe
I
it.
hate you.
I could not believe it. Yeah.
Fox number 24. Excuse me.
There's a cracker this year, GB, yeah?
Oh, aye. I mean, especially when it's faces are done right down the front of it as well.
Oh, that'll keep the winds away for the fire, eh?
Definitely. And it's no chocolates inside.
Well, there's a couple of chocolates, I believe. I don't know. No secrets. I'll do it day by day. I'll not be like that outside, open them all at once, yeah, because I can't wait.
Oh, no, that's what he's allowed to do it, because he goes out his wee walk.
You know. But aye, well, listen, well, it's been interesting. I think with the twos, I thank you for the way you've dissected and give your points of view. It's difficult because we don't want to be critical with the manager, the team, the club, or whatever. But we've also, I think you used the term realistic earlier, GB, and people see it differently, realistic points of view. And you've got to be fair, but we've got ourselves in some pickle. But hopefully we can start unpickling it. And hopefully it starts on Thursday. The club move on, get CEO and the chairman and we start making right decisions and move forward, because the fans deserve it, Bridgeman.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, and it's sometimes when I do criticise them, I feel terrible after it, but sometimes I feel that the team deserve all the sort of criticism going, because they're the ones that are not getting results. You can go to the manager and criticise the manager all you want, and I dare say people would say he deserves it because he's the one that's in charge and it's his team. I just think, in my honest opinion, Oxford, I think we've played. When I see Rangers playing, sometimes I think I've actually played in better teams than that. That's the way I look at it. Sometimes I think they're just, some of them are just so poor it's not real. However, sometimes when you see them playing in Europe, they're absolutely brilliant. And you think, is that the same boys that play?
It's mental.
Yeah.
Right, last words for your good self, GB.
Cheers for the night, Ox, and thanks for getting the time to give my opinion out on the current situation. I agree with you, mate. I don't want to be on Clement's back. I want him to succeed, because any sacking a manager means we're tearing up a squad again and possibly having to go and spend more money. Hopefully, like I says, with the next transfer window, he sees where the team's really, really, really needing to invest in, Ox, and he gets it right, and we can see change. But if he doesn't, Ox, and he doesn't get things sorted, then, like you says, we've seen the movie before, mate. We know how it goes down. But thanks for having us on tonight, mate, and you take care, and I'll speak to you soon.
Cheers, mate. Bridgeman, last word for your good self.
Well, what can I say? Thanks very much for having us on, Oxshare, and your techie team in the background, just fantastic. And big shout out to GB for looking after me there. And I do apologise profusely for my lack of technical ability. I couldn't get Skype working, so eventually I got it. I'm sorry. I do apologise. However, can I just say to all the Rangers fans listening in all over the world, this is the #1 radio station for the Rangers. And that's my team, my club, and your club too. So everybody, please, huge game coming up on Thursday, and everybody keep it going for the Rangers. I'm going for a 1-0 win for Rangers. There you are. 1-0 win for Rangers. Away from home against Nice. Everybody, keep it going for the Rangers, because the Rangers need us all the way. Keep it going.
And I did warn you about that story at Broco the News tonight, on a different subject.
You did, pal. You did, yes. I've been following it avidly.
I did tell you. Listen, thanks to you two gentlemen, thanks to Fox and All School Blues for doing the technicals, everybody for listening. Rangers Radio will be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10, talking of all things Rangers. I'm sure some of the debate will be the same, but we'll have to start moving forward, because we'll have to get a big game on Thursday. Thanks for listening. Take it away, All School Blues.